So I'm here at work, and I've just finally decided to do a little interview about myself on what it's like to be scratched. I know it's a little dark. I'm walking outside right now. So this is in reference to the morgue video. As y'all seen, I was scratched. That was probably one of the roughest things I've ever been through in my life. So, you know, it's freaky in a way that something can touch you like that and you can't see it, you can't control it, you can't fight it back at the time, and it's all the aftermath that comes with it. Depression, you know, demons and demonic things like to feed off sadness. That's how they get into your body and your mind. And at the time, me and my fiance at the time going through some serious problems that you heard in the video, and just, it's rough. You know, that feeling never goes away, that something has that sort of power over you and you can't control it. You know, as we were just sitting there, and usually it was, you know, Boss Daddy. He's the one that always got, he's always the one that got fucked with. Sorry for the language. He's always one that shit was provoked, you know, said back to him. And the very first time we did the morgue, when we first encountered who we call Bert and Ernie, a few nights later, he went into his room, laid down on his bed, and was going to go read his Bible, and he looked in his drawer and his Bible was gone. And then a few moments later after that, something grabs his legs and pulls him out of his bed. Well, I was laying in my room one night. I was just laying there, and I was taking a nap, and I just woke up. My roommate Huff. He was with us during our previous investigations. He wasn't home, and I looked over. I thought it was him. I thought, you know, maybe he came back while I was taking a nap. And the way our rooms were laid out is when you walked into the big room, there was a common area, had a sink, refrigerator, stove, kitchen table. Well, I seen a shadow pacing back and forth. I was like, well, it was kind of sunny. I was like, well, that's just a shadow from his room. I looked at him, I was like, Huff. I was like, what are you doing? Nobody answered me. And I said, Huff, what are you doing? He didn't answer me. And whatever was walking stopped in front of my door and just stared at me. It wouldn't come into my room. It was dark. I mean, it scared the shit out of me. Like, I wouldn't even walk out. I opened the window and I climbed out of the window, and I wouldn't go back in there until somebody else was with me. That's just the kind of feeling that I got from whatever that was. And then, come to find out, Huff had went to the airport to get a rental car. His parents flew in. Well, he had gotten into an altercation with the lady at the rental car place. And this is the nicest guy you've ever met in your life. He's probably the true epitome of a southern gentleman. And he was just yelling at this lady, calling her every name under the sun for no reason. He came back, we talked about it. We all showed up to formation one day for PT. And we all three got together in the corner, and at the same exact time we was like, "That's fucked up shit been happening to you." And we were like, "Yep, And I was like, we gotta get it fixed. So we read into it, everything, and we came to the conclusion that we were about to deploy. We were about to go to Afghanistan, and we were kind of skittish of going and talking to our chaplain about it, because we didn't want them to take us off the deployment. But we went up there, we talked to him. You know, going to the chaplain really helped. Sorry, it's dark. And everything. You know, we all, chaplain was Catholic. He blessed us. He, I can't remember what they're called. The little necklaces that the Catholics wear. I can't remember exactly what they're called right now. It's early, it's midnight. He blessed 3 of those and gave them to us. Then at the time I was seeing a little Mexican girl. Her family's real religious. She had bought us this candle, and she'd had it blessed. So every night when me and Huff would go into our room, at one point in time I drug my mattress off my bed and I slept in his room floor for a month. That's how bad this shit got. I didn't even want to sleep in the same room by myself. Every night we would pray. We would say the prayer that, I'll call her my girlfriend, told us to do with that candle and everything, and then eventually it stopped until we went back. The second time back hit us hard. I was about to get out of the Army. Boss Daddy was about to get out of the Army. And, you know, we had a lot of fucked up shit going on. He was going through some issues with his now ex-wife, and I was going through some issues with my now ex-fiance. And whatever this was feeding off of it. It got worse and worse and worse. We were both depressed. So, you know, we, a lady he knew in Mississippi sent him in this thing, and every time we came back in the house, we were to touch it. It was to keep bad energies out. So we never missed a beat on it. Well, we came back from an investigation one night. We were going over some EVPs, and we just happened to look out a sliding glass window. This was the darkest thing we've ever saw in our life. His cat was sit there and hiss at it and everything. I mean, it was rough.